This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. I'm trying to reach two audiences on this audio. The people who on Facebook wish me happy birthday today, and then the routine thing that I'm doing with Uber. So Uber people, this birthday thing is going to be brief, maybe 10 minutes. And then I will return to this screen to kind of put a gap between audience birthday people and audience Uber. So with that said, these are some of the people that wished me happy birthday on Facebook today. So before I get started, two things. I went through all your profiles to find out where you're from, and I'm going to read your names. This is not a complete list. This picture, I couldn't do all of them here. But I did go through everyone's profile and find out where they are. I thought the least I could do is find out where people are. If they took a moment to wish me happy birthday, I could at least know they wished me happy birthday from where. There was only one person I couldn't find it. I think he's in Pennsylvania. So I'm going to credit, his name's Mark, and I believe he's in Pennsylvania, but I couldn't find that on his profile. So Claudia in Scottsdale, Kevin in Fairview, Jennifer in Cleveland, Mark in Pennsylvania, Chuck in Tampa, Brian in San Diego, Kathy in Cleveland, Chip in Boiling Springs, that's Pennsylvania, Packy in Cleveland, Lori in Charlotte, Kevin in Napa, Mary Pat in Fairview, Bonnie, Maple Grove, Suleiman, Laurel, Maryland, Tony, Fairview, Stacy, Myrtle Beach, Yasa, Bali, Tom, Cleveland, Kay Amani, NYC. Oh, he was another one. I couldn't find that on his profile, but I met Kay Amani in NYC. I believe he lives there somewhere. Irving, another profile that didn't say, so I said USA. Irving, USA. Kathy, Avon Lake. Sally, Rocky River. Jim, Brunswick, Ohio. Rick, Carlisle. Jim, Minneapolis. Ramon, Victoria, Brazil. I think in English we'd say Victoria. Victoria, Brazil. Manny in Chennai, Depri Monera in Bali, and Jins in Dubai. So it was fun going through these profiles. I will note two kind of nice discoveries. First of all, Packy's. Did I say Packy? No, Packy, Cleveland. First of all, Packy's profile shows that he is a tree steward. So to everyone who hates their job, if anyone hates their job, become a tree steward. How could you hate that job? Doesn't it sound cool? So Packy gets the award of the job that sounds the coolest. Now, I know that's not a full-time occupation. It still sounds great. And the other great name award goes to Suleiman. Now, he lists himself as Suli, and he's known by Suli, but I know Suli's name is Suleiman. And I believe that to be the name on his birth certificate. So he's not like Cher and Bono and John Cougar and Lady Gaga. Suleiman is his name on his birth certificate, so I believe. So he gets the award for best name, and Packy gets the award for best job. And the other thing that was really fun for me is I remember one Facebook friend request that I gave to someone, and it was never accepted. And that person was a bullied person in my childhood, in my high school. And I thought, well, maybe I thought I was nice to him, but maybe I wasn't. So it's kind of, or maybe I was like everyone else. It could be that, this person just wanted to put his high schooling behind him, and the Facebook snub had nothing to do with me. but it still left some doubt. Anyways, these birthday greetings to me are really nice. It says, well, I did have one of these snubs, leaves me in this uncomfortable position that maybe I wasn't nice, but clearly I was nice. I've been nice to some people in my life, and I got just about every phase of my life here where someone wished me happy birthday. So the choice of names to hit on this, I started with Claudia because she's at the top of the list, and at this is the correct local time. This is East Coast United States. We are not on daylight savings time for you people not in the United States. We are 10:29 local time, East Coast Standard Time, that is. And so Claudia is the most recent one to wish me happy birthday. She ended up at the beginning, and Jens was the first. And then I just kind of picked interesting names. Obviously, Suleiman, I've already commented on him, but Mani, Depri Monera, I don't believe is the name on his birth certificate. However, it's a cool name. Jens, Mani, Suleiman, Ramon, Paki, Chip, Kay, Amani, Jennifer, and Claudia, just a few of the people who wish me happy birthday. So now with this screen ending, I'm going to transition to Uber. So for those of you that are still listening that have no interest in Uber, this is a remarkable point I'm going to make before I transition, before I start talking about Uber. The most remarkable thing about blogging is that you can reach an audience of people who care. And my click-tap history reports tell me that I have more than 0 people who are listening to a significant portion of this Uber stuff. And I go on at length. So if you're a birthday person and you've tuned into this and you stay for a few more minutes, in minutes you're going to determine it's like dead boring and you'll click away. And you should. And then you'll look at how many minutes I go on and you'll think, who could ever listen to this? Believe it or not, I have an audience. And that's one of the remarkable mysteries of the internet. It's not a total mystery, but it's kind of a mystery. So with that, I switch to Uber, and that's what I made today. So Uber people, this is a record for me. There was boost, 3 times boost, all through Manhattan today. Now, Uber people, you may know this. If you don't, there are 2 different incentives that are relevant lately. Uber has probably played around with incentives of all different kinds. But the 2 that are relevant lately is Boost and Quest. So this money is mostly responsible for Boost. So in other words, that's very specific to where I was. And that's Manhattan. Now, Uber will put Boost in a certain area. And from my experience, when they were expanding into Hoboken, I was chasing Boost into Hoboken. And wouldn't you know it, I get dispatched out of Hoboken. Now the next job that follows it pings me to Weehawken outside of Boost. And now all of a sudden I made the point to get to Hoboken to earn Boost. And because of circumstances, suddenly I'm out of Boost. Well, the way Manhattan was structured today, of course, Manhattan is an island. And the entire island, the relevant parts of it, the relevant busy restaurant parts, the parts where I say basically the areas where tourists go, the relevant parts of New York City today, Manhattan, were all in this 3 times boost, which is the highest I've ever seen. So that was actually 6 trips. That ends up being about $16. I'm not doing the math now, and I'm not sure. I'm doing this from memory. I think that's about $16 a delivery, which is great. And so now I'm going to tap on a few of the details, earnings details. So the interesting thing about Boost first, here are my trips. Now the dollars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each of this little icon here means boost, 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 boost. I got boost on every single one today. And I wish I could get that reflection out of the way. The boost is included in here. And you can see I don't have any Quest. So listeners, Uber people, if you go back here, this is the week before. Yeah, this is last week. And now if I just picked... see transactions. Now promotion. That gets listed as a separate transaction. But and they're both incentives, so why Uber treats them so differently, I don't know. But if I go into see transactions here, these already include my boost. And that's my money from last week that got deposited. That's a lot for me. And Ubereats, Uber delivery, promotion. So in addition to boost, they also pinged me another $18 in Quest. So the words are different, but they're both the manipulative games that Uber plays to try to get people who do what I do to do more of it and to do more of it with them. I don't register on any of the other sites. I haven't had good reason to yet. So I don't get idle and all of a sudden flip to Grubhub. I stay with Uber for better, for worse. But there's a lot of people who are registered on multiple apps. So they get tired of Uber. They flip away. Well, it's clear that Uber tries to keep people on Uber. And that doesn't really account. I guess they don't want you flipping away from Uber. That's what Quest is all about. And then they don't want you leaving certain areas, or they want to attract you to certain areas. That's what Boost is all about. So anyways, those are two recent ways that Uber is incentivizing to get people to do what they want them to do, what is best for their company. So listeners, a final note about citibikes. Citibikes were a problem tonight. In addition to a lot of stations in the area where I started being idle, out of service because of New Year's Eve last night. Just a side note, a credit to the city of New York. New York was relatively clean tonight. 24 hours after this massive party on Times Square, and I was very near Times Square for the first part of the evening, and at the end of the evening, it was remarkably clean. The sanitation people must have worked tons of hours. Back on track, citibikes. Because of the party last night, a lot of stations in the area Times Square were out of service. And so I had a problem with that to start. And then the other problem is the bikes were all distributed in all the wrong places as far as what I needed. So when I needed to get rid of a bike or to recharge a bike, recharge doesn't mean electric. Recharge just means to stop my rental and start another rental. All the docks were full. So I couldn't do that. So I just kept my bike for 2 hours, and that would generate a significant overage, because you get overage every time you hit 45 minutes. So I don't know how much that charge would have been, but it was a charge I didn't want to pay, and I asked for forgiveness. And a moment ago, I thought I remembered the guy's name. He's in Brooklyn. He answers for Motivate, which is a company behind Citibike, and he forgave me for that overage. So listeners, there are now 3 people I know of that use the Citibikes to do Uber. I am one of them, and I've not only seen 2 others and suspected they were doing Uber on Citibikes. Remember, people can be carrying a big backpack and they might be doing deliveries on a Citibike, but I don't count those people. I am counting confirmed people. I ask them, are you doing deliveries on Citibikes? So that, me and 2 others, is now 3 confirmed people. So listeners, Uber listeners, if you're considering Citibikes, There's a lot of pressure to get the bike back in and recharge and avoid the overage. If there's a good reason to be forgiven for an overcharge, ask, and you will probably be given forgiveness. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American. There's one other thing I wanted to show. I got this, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Yeah, right here, how to complete deliveries. This I get hit with right in the beginning. Listeners, if you care enough to read this, you can pause and read it yourself. So I'm not going to read it. But I'm going to tell you what it says. I didn't go offline at the end of a delivery, according to them. I don't know when this was. I'm, of course, by myself when I read this, and I'm thinking it's kind of like a supervisory or reprimand. Anyways, it's I didn't like it. I had to come across this in the early part of my night. What I didn't like about it, it's great to get feedback, but this is unactionable feedback. This is, you forgot to go offline during one of them. Be more careful. Well, I don't think I did. And if I did, which one did I? Because I'd like to kind of revisit that moment and try to figure out why I did. I mean, I would take the trouble to go back and see if I had one delivery right after the other, or maybe it was the last delivery of the night, and try to figure out the circumstances about why I earned this reprimand. But with the information given, I can't. And the other choice is to go into Uber, and that's a huge investment of time that I'm not going to do, at least for this alone. It's been Tom Duty, middle-aged American, living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, a restful night's sleep. Ciao. And the birthday people, if you're still listening, amen, alleluia, assalamu alaikum, mazel tov. Ciao, ciao. I know this thing is still going, and it shouldn't be. I can't.